Okay, now that we've created the query, I then, once again, on the exam paper, I would either put a tick or I would put a line through the query. Okay, so I now know that I need to move on to the report. Now the report, the way that we create the report in Access is we need to open Access, then we need to go to Create, and we're going to use the report wizard. So we're going to create, and then we're going to use the report wizard. So we go to the report wizard. I don't need to save this one, so don't worry about this one. No. So reports wizard. Now here, ladies and gents, the reason I said that you've got to name the query is because sometimes you may have more than one query in here. So if you've just called it query 1, query 2, it may not be clear which query you're referring to. So because I've named mine, I know I'm not going to get confused between, for example, table or query 1, query 2, and week 37. So week 37 is the query that we need to make the report from. Okay, so what we do here, ladies and gents, it says available fields and selected fields. So if I go back to the exam paper, okay, I need to find what does it want in the query. So it says shows only the fields staff, date, booking, price, number, and income. So I go to the database. So they want staff, date, booking. What else was there? Booking, staff, date, booking, price, number, and income. So we go to price, number, and income. So these are the only fields they want in the report. But what I'm going to do is, once again, we always go back and we double check. So staff, date, number. Staff, date, number. Make sure as well, ladies and gents, as you go through these, try and put them in the same order as the exam. Okay, so staff, date, booking, price, and number. Staff, date, booking, price, number, and then finally income. Always make sure that you double check, ladies and gents. Okay, it's very, very easy to make a mistake. So we then go to next. Okay, in here, we don't, or in this exam paper, it doesn't ask us to group anything. So we don't need to worry about the grouping. However, in other exam papers or in your final exam, you may be asked to create some sort of group. Okay, so this is where you create the group. So for example, if I wanted to book all of my, if I wanted to group by the staff, okay, I would simply choose the staff, and then that groups all the data by the staff. Sometimes you may be asked to group by staff, and then let's say, for example, by booking. So you simply add them like this. So it's group by the staff, okay, then there's group by the bookings, etc., etc. But in this one, we don't need to worry about any grouping. So we then go to next. Okay. So now this is about sorting our days in either ascending or descending order. So if I click on here, it's asking me what fields do I want to sort. So I can do this in the report. So I go back to the report. Okay, we can see here, ladies and gents. So this one here is done. So I'm going to write once again, done complete. Okay, so I don't need to worry about this report part of the report anymore. But once again, for you, you need to put a line straight through the question. So on the next one, shows only the data. No, we've done. Okay, here. So in here it says sorts the data into ascending order of date. Okay, so if I go back to the database, we want in ascending order. So this is ascending order of date. In the exam, you may be asked to put it in ascending order of date and then ascending order of something else. If it does say that, ladies and gents, you need to obviously select the other thing. So let's say staff and date. Okay, you need to choose it from here. But in this exam paper, we're only putting it in ascending order of date. So I then go to next. Okay, I go back to the exam paper, and once again, I put a line through here. Okay, so for me, I'm just putting complete over here. So I've done all of these things so far. Okay, so far, so good. Okay, I go back into here. it asks me about orientation, portrait and landscape. Oh, I remember seeing that in the exam paper. So I go back to the exam paper. Can I see orientation portrait? Yes, I can. Okay, so in here, ladies and gents, I select the portrait. I then go back into the exam paper, and in here, I type once again, done, complete, or if I had this in the exam, I would simply put a line through it or a tick. Okay? I then go back into the report wizard. I then go to next. Oh, it says on here, what title do you want for your report? Now, in our report, let's go back to the exam paper. Can we see anything about a title or a heading? Fits on a single page wide, has an income field. Yes, we can. Includes the heading week 37 sales at the top of the page. So we go back into the report wizard, week 37 sales. You need to make sure that you double check the spellings and the headings, so make sure that anything that's capital is also the same, because you will get marked down for that. So week begins with a capital, 37 sales begins with a capital as well. So I need to make sure it's exactly the same. So week 37 sales, I double check that again, ladies and gents, because it's an easy mark to miss. Am I happy with that? Yes, I am. I then write done, complete, or in your case, I put a line through it. So I go back again and I click finish. Okay, and in here at the moment, this is what my report looks like. Okay, this is on a single page wide. So what we don't want to do, ladies and gents, is we don't want to move, okay, these fields any further to the right. Okay, we don't want to move them any further to the right. Otherwise, it won't be on a single page wide. So far I'm happy. Is it on a single page wide? Yes, it is. So this is done, complete, and that's another mark for my exam paper. Okay, right. Okay, so what is left? So we go back into the exam paper. Now, in the exam paper, it specifically says that where is it? Let's read through them and see where we can. So has the income field formatted as currency to 2 decimal places? So what we do for that, ladies and gents, is we need to right mouse click on the report. We're going to go to design view. Okay, we then scroll across. Now this is the heading for the income. Okay, so in here, ladies and gents, we choose the income from here, the details. These are the numbers, the figures. We then go to property sheet, and in here, ladies and gents, under the format, we can then click on the drop down menu, and here we can select, okay, the currencies. So the only currency that I have at the moment is euro. Okay, so I'm going to choose euro for mine. Okay, I then go back to the view. Does it show me the income in euros? Okay, or dollars? Yes, it does. I can't change mine to dollars. Sorry, I think dollars is currency by default. So, in fact, I'm going to change mine back to dollars. So I go back to the design view. I then go to the booking, and in here, I'm not the booking, sorry. I go to the income field, and I'm going to choose currency, which will automatically be dollars because my computer is set to the American format. I go back to design. Is it in currency to dollars? Yes, we can now see that the income is in currency. So I go back to my exam paper. I can then say, right, put a line through this and say done, complete. Am I happy with that? Yes, I am. Okay, shows this data. So I'm looking at this bullet point here, ladies and gents. This one here, this one right here. So shows the data, okay, and field names in full. If I go and look at my report once again, ladies and gents, okay, this is my report view. Does it show me all the data in full? We can see here that, this information isn't very clear for me. So what I would do for this, guys, this one is it's probably a new trick that I haven't showed, that maybe quite a few of you don't really know. But what I would do here is I would go to the design view and I would choose the layout view here. Now when I click on the layout view, what I can do here is I can move the fields across and see what the data looks like at the same time. So I've moved the field across. I want to make sure that I can see the date. Okay, am I happy with that so far? Yes, I can now see the date. In fact, I think I can make a little bit more room over here. So I'm going to move this a little bit further across. I'm going to move this a little bit further across. And then over here we can see that this field is quite big, so I'm going to move this across and make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to do the same thing over here with the price. Move this heading, okay, to the side over here, or you can obviously center align it. The number isn't very clear here, so that I'm going to lose a mark in the exam if I don't correct this. So I need to make this field a little bit bigger. Then I need to put this information directly underneath it, okay? So now we can see here that my database is becoming a lot clearer. Remember, ladies and gents, this dotted line here, you cannot make any larger. Be very careful, because if you drag this any further to the right, then it won't be printed on a single page. Okay, it'll be printed on more than one page, and this is normally how you start printing off like 30-40 pages in the exam. Do not make that mistake. You never drag anything to the right hand side of the page. Okay, so is everything clear? I'm going to double check this now. Can I see everything in here? Is it clear? Yes, it is. I'm now going to scroll down. Is everything clear? Yes, it is. Okay, so far, so good. Okay, so that is great. Okay, so I then go back to the exam paper. I can then say, right, this one here is done complete. That is another mark for me in the exam. Okay, now I have these ones over here now. Okay, so let's start with the easy ones. So this last one has your name, candidate number, and center number on the left. On the left at the foot of each page. In here it says at the foot of each page, not at the footer, okay, or the page footer. So what we do for this, ladies and gents, is we go back to the design view. We then, over here, we can see that there's a report footer, okay? This is the report footer, and this is the page footer. So this is at the bottom of each page. This is at the end, on the last page of the report. So what we do here is the names must always be put in a label. So I'm going to insert a label in here. Where is my label? Format, page setup, no. Where is my label? Design. That's strange, isn't it? I can't find the label. Nope, it's not in there. It's not in here. Alright, format. Okay, let's try something else then. Oh. Okay, I think I'm going to have to come back to this. Okay. Right, okay, ladies and gents. Right, okay. My interface is going to be slightly different from the interface that you're used to using. Okay, so for example, my controls are over here. So whenever you're asked to write your name, center number, candidate number, you need to make sure that you use the label. So the best thing to do, ladies and gents, and sometimes even I still make this mistake, is you need to make sure that you hover over the icon. Okay, and over here this clearly states label, so I'm going to click on it, and this is where I'm going to put my label. So in here, my name's Mr. Hassan, my candidate number is, let's say, 9999, and my center number is QA046. Okay, so I go back to the exam question, Does it specify where they want my candidate number, my details? It says it wants it on the left, okay, at the foot of each page. So I go back into here, it wants it on the left. So at the moment, I believe I have my date over here, ladies and gents. So all I do is simply move the date box, okay, the date text box, and I simply put mine on the left. Okay, so I put my details on the left. So I click view. I then scroll to the bottom of the report. Can I see my name in here? Yes, I can. Okay, so I know that that's okay. I then go back into the exam paper. I go into here, and I would put a line through this bullet point. So done, complete, okay, in my case. So that leaves me with two more things that need to be done. Okay, now this one is really easy. This one's probably the more complicated one. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you how to do the final two. So I then go back to the database. Now in here, ladies and gents, it says that it calculates the total value of the income field and displays this at the end of the report under the income values. So it displays at the end of the report. So what we do here, ladies and gents, is we go back to the design view. Under the report footer, normally, okay, when you open it, it looks like this. What you've got to do, and this is the biggest mistake that students make, they don't drag down the footer. So what you do, ladies and gents, you move the cursor up until the cursor changes, okay, into a black cross with two arrows. You then move the report footer down. In here, ladies and gents, you then choose a text box. So once again, I sometimes get confused, and so will you. You need to make sure that you just hover over for a few seconds until you get the text box. Here I have the text box. I then click on here. I draw my text box, and it should also draw my label. Okay, so let's get the other mark very quickly before we forget. Even if you don't write anything in the text box over here, you can still get the mark for the label. So we go back into here, ladies and gents, into the exam paper, and it says, has the label total income to the left of the total, the value of the income field. Okay, so here is the value of the income field, it would be here, and in here, ladies and gents, this is our label. So my label says total income. Okay, so I click in here, and I type in total income. Okay. Then, now, the way that we do this is, hopefully, fingers crossed, you still remember a lot of what you did from spreadsheets, okay? And we've done enough practice in class now, okay? Or you should have. So, whenever we need to use a function here, okay? So we're going to use a function from within Access. So if I want to add all of these income values together, okay? I need to use a sum function. So in a very similar sort of way to spreadsheets or to Excel, we start a formula with equals. We then use the sum function, which is a built-in function that says add everything that I highlight in between the brackets. So because it's a function, okay, we need to put the rounded bracket in here. Now, ladies and gents, because we need to add everything, add all the incomes together, we said that the income was a database field. So because it's a database field, and I'm referring to this income over here, I need to put this income between square brackets. Okay, so I need to put this income here between square brackets. So I put a square bracket, I then type income. Okay, I then close the square bracket because I'm referring or I'm specifying the income field, okay, in the database table. And then I close the rounded bracket. Then I go to view. Okay, I scroll across. Does everything look okay? Yes, it does. I then scroll down, ladies and gents, and hopefully at the bottom of the page, you should see that I have the income field. Okay, yes, and we can clearly see that this has worked. Okay.